Thanks, Matt.
Up next here on our news at 5 o'clock, fire shut it down for 6 months, but now Holy Name Cathedral is set to reopen this weekend. We get a sneak peek inside next.
Cutler Mania takes over Bears Camp. Our Peggy Kaczynski is live from Bourbonnais.
And they are getting the gang back together. A Seinfeld reunion is in the works with a twist.
News 6 at 5 starts now.
Now, this is News 6 at 5 in high definition.
Tonight, more fallout from the cloud controversy at the University of Illinois. Should all of the trustees be forced to resign? Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Nicole Marks.
And I'm Carmela Mofisi. There's been weeks of hearings and now a state panel is hashing out a decision about the University of Illinois clout scandal. And there are several trustees that may be on the chopping block. News 6's Sharon Wright has the details.
The University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana tainted to have a rough draft in place next week to prevent these admissions abuses in the future. At the Thompson Center, Sharon Wright.
The commissioners maintain all of us pay taxes and there are special rules for special people, but the numbers are relatively small and it's troubling and must be changed.
Other top stories that we are following tonight. Bodies from 3 grave sites are being exhumed from Burr Oak Cemetery. Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart says they found a burial vault stacked on top of another. Investigators suspected the double stacking, but this is the first time it has been confirmed. We'll have more on this story coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. A fire in Melrose Park this morning destroys an abandoned house and spreads to the occupied home next door. A family of 8 did manage to get out unharmed. Their house, though, suffered major roof damage. The house the fire originated in was completely destroyed. Vice President Joe Biden is in Chicago today. He spoke at the National Urban League Conference. Biden said there is a greater need for the organization today than in decades past. The conference ends tomorrow.
Another big story we are following is this Cash for Clunkers program, which is running on fumes.
Yes, running out of fumes and money. It was the biggest idea, real popular to help jumpstart the auto industry, but now it may be out of money.
CNBC's John Harwood is following the story from Washington. Now there's talk today, John, about more money being pushed into the program. Perhaps billions more, right?
It was running on fumes, but Congress pumped $2 billion worth of gas into the tank today. Members of Congress aren't used to seeing the public respond so positively and enthusiastically to a program that they've passed, but that's what they saw. And so you had members of Congress today who voted against the program initially because they thought it wasn't worth the money, doubling the amount of money now, $1 billion initially, $2 billion today in the House of Representatives, and you could expect the Senate to follow suit next week.
Lots of Americans are taking advantage of this program already, and a lot of people have been turned away now because of the money situation, but do we expect it to pass the Senate?
We do think so, and White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs came out after the House vote today and said if you're thinking about buying a new car this weekend and your car qualifies, go ahead because those certificates will be honored. You're not going to see Washington say no to a potential car buyer who believes they qualify only to see the money run out. This is too popular for them to do that.
CNBC's John Harwood, thanks. We appreciate it. This is really good news for our viewers who maybe want to do some car shopping this weekend.
It's good to see Americans shopping again. Thanks, John.
NBC Nightly News will have more on this Cash for Clunkers story. This weekend, Holy Name Cathedral comes back from the devastating fire. Mass resumed tomorrow after 6 months of repairs. News 6's Anthony Ponce takes us inside with a look at some of the dramatic changes.
For the first time since February, the seat made a time frame on those repairs yet another year. At Holy Name Cathedral, Anthony Ponce.
Repairs from both the fire and the ceiling collapse are estimated at $14 million. The pastor at Holy Name is calling on all Chicagoans, even if you are not Catholic, to stop by and check it out. It is a historical building looking good again.
I know, it's nice to see that.
It is.
Well, up next are a couple of big stories out of Hollywood, an arrest and a snooping case involving Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick.
Jerry and the gang may be coming back. There is a word on a big reunion that's coming up later.
And it was a beautiful day today, but Jake says don't let it fool you. His full forecast is coming up.
It is all about the new quarterback in town. We are live from Bourbonnais.
And later in consumer news, we'll tell you about a recall in some Honda cars. But first, your national headlines.
Faster than a speed racer, lawmakers approved $2 billion to keep Cash for Clunkers from running out of money. The popular federal program gives drivers who trade in their gas guzzlers up to $4,500 to buy a new, more fuel-efficient vehicle.
it's working so well that there are legitimate concerns that the funds in this program might soon be exhausted. So we're now working with Congress on a bipartisan solution to ensure that the program can continue for everyone out there who's still looking to make a trade.
They have found $2 billion that they're able to move from one shell to another in the recovery money to try to keep this thing going.
This is the type of stimulus that actually works very quickly.
Veteran Senator Chris Dodd says he's been diagnosed with early-stage prostate cancer. Today, Dodd said he'll have surgery in August, and then he'll get right back to work on health care reform.
I'm fortunate as a member of Congress to have those benefits. And so one of the things we've been fighting for, we'll continue to fight for, is to get this national health care reform effort passed in the Congress.
A wave of deadly attacks is raising questions about Iraq's stability and its future. At least 29 people died today in bombings at separate Shiite mosques. Meanwhile, a senior U.S. military official in Iraq says it's time to declare victory and go home.
Officials in Iraq and here at the Pentagon will tell you, look, this is one colonel's opinion.
Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad begins his second term next week. Today he is denying a rift with Iran's supreme leader, saying they're like father and son.
I think what you had today was two gentlemen agree to disagree on a particular issue. I don't think that we spent too much time dwelling on the past. We spent a lot of time discussing the future.
The White House Beer Summit ends with both sides agreeing to disagree, and Endeavour is back on Earth after a successful 16-day mission. That is your MSNBC 120. I'm Melissa Rayberger.
You're watching News 6 at 5 in high definition.
Two brothers who ran a Naperville piano store face a Big Ten lawsuit. They are accused of not delivering pianos to over 200 clients. Those clients gave piano experts a combined $1 million for pianos they never received. The Attorney General's office filed a suit against Paul and Peter Viasco. If found guilty, they will be banned from selling pianos in Illinois and face a $50,000 fine.
Former NBA star Antoine Walker has his day in court. He took the witness stand on Thursday to testify at a hearing against Philip Allison. Allison is accused of duct taping and robbing Walker in his River North home back in 2007. Two other men are sentenced in this case. Walker himself was recently arrested for owing Las Vegas casinos $750,000.
A bit of Hollywood drama hits a small town in Ohio. 3 men pleaded not guilty for snooping on the surrogate mother for actors Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick. Prosecutors say 2 police chiefs and the son of a local mayor broke into the women's home. They were apparently looking for items and information that they could sell to the tabloids. The woman gave birth to twins in June and is no longer living in the area.
This is great news for all of you Seinfeld fans. A reunion is finally in the works, but not exactly. The cast of the popular sitcom will be working together, but they won't be playing their Seinfeld characters. The actors will play themselves in 5 episodes of the HBO show Curb Your Enthusiasm, so here's the storyline. It has them writing and rehearsing a Seinfeld reunion show. It's not a full episode, but it will give you an idea of what happened to Jerry, Elaine, George, and Kramer 11 years after the show had ended.
Ooh, that sounds like it's going to be a good show. The writing is going to be phenomenal.
Yes, cannot wait for that. Well, it's the last day of July, so what does that mean? It's almost football season. Our Peggy Kaczynski is live at Bears Camp in Bourbonnais. Peggy?
That's right. Bourbonnais used to be called Bears Camp. Now we're calling it Camp Cutler. A certain number 6 has arrived and is wowing the crowd. We're playing off live.
Thank you, Peggy. It's the biggest movie on the big screen this weekend. Our Friday movie preview of Funny People is later.